Hallelujah. It says, Yahuah have taken away thy judgments. When it says that Yahuah have taken away the judgments, what do we gather from that?
Curses.
He has taken away the judgment.
I would say
You're talking about
those judgments that were spoken against us, as in the curses that was in it too if we did not keep Torah.
Right, the curses, exactly. All the things that was pronounced against us, the Father has taken those things away because we have the act of forgiveness taking place. He hath cast out thy enemy, and who is the enemy? Right, exactly. Yeah, we have to write that down. Right, that is absolutely. And then final, the king of Israel, even the Yahuah is in the midst of us. Thou shalt not see evil anymore. At this point, when the Father, or the Mashiyach now is in the midst of us, at what festival is that?
Sukkot.
Sukkot. Hallelujah. See, we got a sharp bunch here.
The 8th day, right?
The 8th day would be Shemini Atzeret. This is the 8th day. This is where now the new beginning. The 8th day is exactly because we have 7 as the completion, and then Shemini Atzeret is the 8th day, which, as we know today, to be Sunday. But that can vary. But just as a reference, day 1. Right. So this is our first day where we're supposed to be down on our best behavior and everything is supposed to be good. So just as Yashra'al was described as afflicted and poor, so was the Mashiyach described as being poor and afflicted. Zechariah 9 and 9. Zechariah 9 and 9. Shai, if you can read that for me, please. I think that's about it. It's the last one. Zechariah 9 and 9. 9 and 9. Zechariah.
Zechariah 9 and 9. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee.
So, but again, they say that we can't find the Mashiyach in the Old Testament. So when it says, rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion, shout, O daughter of Jerusalem, behold, your king coming. Present tense, read on.
Your king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt, the foal of an ass.
Right, so this should be like a no-brainer. Everybody should see that this is actually describing the Mashiyach, and the word for lowly now, it's the same word for afflicted and poor, and it's the Strong's over 6041. This is I'm going to speed it up here real quick. Question, who are Mary and Martha? We had talked about these two sisters before in chapter 1, and we know that these two sisters, Mary and Martha, John, the 11th chapter, are sisters in the book of Ezekiel, 23, 2 and 4. We just get that right quick, and we'll be done. Yes, the book of Ezekiel, the 23rd chapter. Because remember, in John the 11th chapter, it talks about two sisters. Okay, so we have in the book of Ezekiel, the 23rd chapter, verses 2 and 4, it says, Son of man, there were 2 women in Bethany. How many sisters were there? 2, right? So in the book of Ezekiel, the 23rd chapter, we have 2 sisters. Son of man, there were 2 women, the daughters of one mother, verse 4. And the names of them were Oholah, the elder, and Oholibah, her sister, and they were mine. And they bare sons and daughters. Thus were the names. Samaria is Oholah. Samaria is who?
Northern Kingdom.
Northern Kingdom. And Jerusalem, Oholibah, which is Northern Kingdom. Hallelujah. Okay, Mary and Miriam means they're rebellious. That's what it means. They're rebellious. That's the Greek's number 3137. Martha, which is the other woman, her name means she was rebellious, and that's the Strong's number 3136. Wow. So we see the connection here. John 11 and 3, it says that Lazarus is not well. He's extremely sick. Who is it that Yahuah loves? I'm going to read 11 and 3, and I'll just give you the scriptures, and we will be done. the book of John 11. The book of John, the 11th chapter. I'm going to read 1 through 3. Now a certain man was sick. We talked about the sickness. His name was Lazarus. We talked about that. He was of Bethany, the house of misery, of a town of Mary and his sister Martha, who were sisters, and they names mean rebellious. Verse 2, which is in parentheses. It was that Mary which anointed the Mashiyach with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Verse 3. Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Sovereign, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. So we need to identify who is it that the Father loves.
That's wrong.
And that can be found in Deuteronomy 7 and 6, and Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, verses 7 through 8. All right? So, Mishpachah, that's going to be today's lesson. And just remember, when you read Deuteronomy 7th chapter, verses 6 through 8, you're going to find a very important word again in there. Is the word ketub in Indian. That word ketub is mentioned so many times in Scripture, I don't know what to say. And the word nesuin, which means marriage. Mishpachah, this is the way that it should be done, is with a ketubah. And we're going to end today's lesson with that. Anybody have any questions? Anybody, anything to share? Because that is today's lesson. Aki.
Taking it back to the ketubah, it makes me think, knowing that Yashra'al was always meant for the son, it's always meant for Yahusha. When you look at the Father representing the heavenly, at least, tell me this is too far-fetched, the Father representing the heavenly, and then we know the word says Jerusalem is the mother of us all.
Right.
And we know that according to the covenant, it said the land will spit you out.
Right.
If you're not obedient unto it. So I kind of see that as with the ketubah that was made, the mother had to listen to what had already been said as far as the land keeping us out.
Right.
That's not too far.
No, absolutely not. When we begin to talk about the land in Jerusalem, and this land is not like other lands, it's not like the land that you came from, Egypt. This is the land that the Father careth for all year round. This is the land that the Father watereth. That land is a live land. It's live. And if that the Father's name is on this land, if we don't do things like, for example, the land rest, this can cause a problem for the whole nation. Because when we begin to look at scriptures, when Abraham was in the land of Canaan at one time, and remember it talked about a famine, we have to ask, why was there a famine in the land that the Father placed his name upon? It's because the land never saw a rest. We just kept going into the land, going into the land, and going into the land, which is another thing, which is something we can talk about later. But you just can't keep going into the land or into the earth, and the woman represents the land or the earth, and at that time, there was somebody else in the land. Remember it talked about in Genesis the 15th chapter, it talked about these Amorites and these Horites were in the land, and the land is a spiritual land. So if you have somebody now that's in the land, that's polluting the land, and the woman represents the land is now defiled. And the land needs now a 6-period rest, and then on the 7 years, a 7-year rest, and then after that, you can go into the land, which is now symbolic now even to the woman's Nida. You give her the rest for 7 days, the same way that we gave the land a jubilee. Everything is interconnected. It also gives the man the time to rest too. I mean, everybody needs to sit back and cool off a little minute. I mean, everything is spiritual. Oh, you don't want to sit, you don't want to rest. You're young man. I hear you. No problem. No problem.
And makes me think about like if you have children, if you continue to have children back to back to back. I know some people that's like 5 and 6. So that's taxing on the woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because even when, being that your father's speaking to us in agricultural terms, if you keep going into the land, keep planting and planting and planting, the harvest is not going to be as full because it's going to start to diminish. The tomatoes at some point, they're not going to get as big. And 1 year, you might not even get a harvest because you're not letting the land rest. Anything else? Okay, Mr. Bakar, we're going to end today's service. And Parag, you have any updates for us? Because we are getting ready for Shavuot. Everybody should attend Shavuot.
So these are announcements for June 2018. Please give all donations to Shabbat or Shire. Envelopes are now available. Please see Shire. Congregation Yashra'al TV show will be on Comcast 25 at 8 p.m. every Sunday. Please support. Tell family and friends. We appreciate any donations of water, utensils, or plates on each Shabbat that we have. Shavuot is Sunday, July 8th at Fort Yargo. The time is from 2 to 8, so it's a little different from what was said last Shabbat. Please be at the park between 1 and 1:30 because you have to stop at the front booth to get a parking pass, which is $5.
Oh, okay.
But we will be starting from 2 to 8. Also, our dress code, males are not to wear sleeveless shirts, t-shirts, designer or other, short pants, tight fitting pants, fleece or jogging pants, or any other revealing pants. All females are required to wear a head covering upon entering the building. Females are not to wear pants, short skirts, mini dresses, halter tops of any kind, revealing spits, tight-fitting or sleeveless complementing attire. No clothing should display words that advocate or inflict violence, drugs, alcohol, sex, or any other message that can be destructive. I just want to clarify, for women, we have short, like, kind of dresses. As long as you wear, like, the pants or something underneath it is appropriate. We do have skirts and scarves as needed. Please use Corral or Shire. And allow the coatees to prepare the food after class.
Right, hallelujah. So you want to make this is going to be a buffet style?
It's going to be grilled buffet.
Okay, grilled
Not a
buffet.
cookout. So keep in mind, this is still like Shabbat, so we should be dressing accordingly.
And it's a high day, so.
Right,
mindful.
exactly. Right, this is a high day. It's a festival.
So I got a question for Sarah. Are we to wear white on this day, or is just like if we dress for Shabbat?
We're going to be out, preferably white, but you know, I wouldn't really make too big of a deal about it, is because we are supposed to be more so reflecting the inner man, the inner woman, is what we're doing. So nobody's gonna look at anybody funny if you don't have on white, So you just want to concentrate on the inner person, but there's so much that's going on now where people are showing the outer appearance and not the actual walk. So keeping a real close eye on that. Torah has to be the foundation. I'm more interested on what comes out of a person's mouth versus what a person is wearing. Yes.
Ross said it's predicted to be rain that
Oh, really?
day.
Oh, yeah.
Those
Yeah.
who were there last year,
That, oh, it was
we
terrible.
had some rain. What you needed was a boat,
Oh, yeah.
just about. So maybe white
Yeah.
might not be a great option, but it did. It rained in that part.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you remember, we ended up, there was a Mexican family.
Right.
there
Yeah,
who was
yeah.
begging us to let
Exactly.
them share our shelter.
Right.
Because the rain was coming down. I mean, it was ridiculous. So we let them stay for a little bit, and then after the weather kind of broke,
Yeah, it was raining. It was,
Oh, it was
So
stormy.
outside
it was
pavilion?
stormy.
It's stormy.
It's an
Okay.
outside
It's an
pavilion,
outside pavilion.
and you may want to have closed shoes because when you walk, when it rains, it gets muddy.
right.
So
Good
just
point.
keep that in mind.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's a rain year.
Hey,
Okay. If anybody wants to get immersed, if anybody, once you immerse, verse, but if anybody want to, what I can say, renew your vows at that point, there's water there. We're going to be doing that because Nabi in this Isha, they want to get immersed. And so we have 2 more. So, that's always a good idea, to rededicate ourselves if you want to do that. Myself will be there, and of course, we'll have our witness, SARS, he'll be there as a witness. Lamont will be there, the dead will be there. So we have ample witnesses for the event. And that's pretty much about it. Now you said it's 9 o'clock. We can stay as late as it's 9 o'clock, is it?
9 p.m. is checkout time, and as long as we got the area perfectly clean,
Right.
they'll just be probably having people leave the park at 9.
Okay.
That's the time the gates will to go. So we can probably stay up as late as, 8:45, 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we got to be ready to go, not
Gotcha.
running around trying to pack things up.
Got you. Okay.
So-
Excellent. All right. Right. And there was bathrooms there too.
Yeah, they have bathrooms, they have the beach there. The pavilion we got was like 80, you could see 80 people or something. So we had
Okay.
lots of room. Well, we used actually half of it for the table for putting the food on it. Then the other
Right.
half, where we sat. It was really nice, even the rain.
Sounds like a
It was
great time.
beautiful. And it's a
It was
beautiful
great.
park, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
it was so awesome. That's why we decided to go back to this year, because it was such a beautiful park.
But we do ask, I know it's a beach, but it's our high holy day, so we come together.
Yeah.
It's to have a class and fellowship, but not to, we'll hold the beach off for
Right.
another day, but this is when we all come together on this high holy
I was
day.
spending swing.
Yeah. We don't.
Just
He's
fill up
nice
the
and
pants
fit.
legs
So
and walk.
we still have to do a 6-pack, all right? You got to keep the 6-pack in.
I get that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sure. And you good? Okay. As I came, we're gonna need the battery pack nice and charged. Can we do that?
The thing with the battery is that I think it only goes for like an hour. Now, yes, but I'm looking to trying to find
Was there an outlet there?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So because we had the radio and stuff out there. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay.
So we good out. We good.
Okay, great. And you're gonna bring your speaker? I mean, you
Yeah, I bring it.
I will say bring an extension cord.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring everything.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
that day you want to go out?
If we have a nice time, the music, the whole 9 yards. I mean, make a joyful noise unto the Father, all humans, serve Yahuah with gladness, know ye that Yahuah is Elohim, is he that has made us, not we ourselves, we are his people, and share his passion. So, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure yet, but maybe we can get congregation Yashra'al's choir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some.
Well,
That's you. Yeah, that's you. That's you.
Start
Oh, okay. Yeah. You put a song to us last week.
So y'all want one now? Put a song.
Hey, listen.
Hey.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, all right. This we're going to stand up and face the east, and we have our chief elder to blow the shofar, and we'll have Shamiel, Yahuah. Shlomiel, okay. To end us with prayer.
Shabbat, this day of rest. We just ask that you forgive the iniquity of our forefathers and our own iniquity, Yahuah, and remember the covenant that you made with us. As we go forward into this week, send your Malachim before us in all things that you do. Allow us to be Baruch when we go in and Baruch when we go out. Allow us to be Baruch with whatever it is that we put our hands upon. Allow our meditation to be continually set upon thee, Yahuah, so that we can be a pod with you. In your son Yahusha, Mashiach's name, we come before you. Allow that light to shine forth from us, that he reinstated out. Hallelujah.
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 Food.
Hallelujah.
Brought the food. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You know, brought the food. Oh. Oh, brother, thank you, Father, for
To the Yahuah, for the food that you've allowed to be manifested to us with the hands that have corrupted and allowed to nourish our